for coming today, man. I appreciate everybody showing up, and we actually showed up on time.
On time.
Right?
Yeah.
How about that? The GOAT. We go all with it. LeBron James, LeBron. LeBron, everybody knows that it's LeBron James, okay? And the problem is, and we talked about it earlier, Michael Jordan has tapped into the emotions of the American people.
I love what LeBron does off the court.
Absolutely.
Now, I understand the Nike thing is great, but what LeBron does off the court, trying to educate kids, while he's still taking care of his machine, how many days off does he take when he's playing?
Exactly.
I hate it when we get into this space where we got to try to define the greats,
Right.
you know, as one person. Because now I have to bring one brother down to lift up another one, man. And that ain't cool, you know?
I can see that.
Yeah.
America's love for Mike is that, one, we have history with Mike, right? And again, even the teams that Mike played for, but specifically the Bulls, you know, you watch the whole team win. You watch everybody come up. LeBron is like, okay, whatever team I'm gonna be on, I'm gonna be good. So because I'm good, you know, hopefully they'll be good too. But if not, you know, I'm still good.
Y'all already know me, but I'm Robert, and I currently work at Meharry Medical College, and I teach in the Masters of Public Health program, and I also run a nonprofit where we do parenting workshops for fathers, and we just had our Fatherhood Festival last Saturday.
We started this nonprofit a little over 10 years ago to support fathers in a way that will allow them to be fully engaged in their children's lives. This nonprofit is a place where fathers truly matter. But more than that, we understand that fathers are critical to the development of their children. We know through many studies that when fathers are involved, their children have better outcomes in every area of their life, and that's what we hope to make happen here in the New Life Center. But this day is a day that we celebrate fathers who have been involved in their children's lives in whatever way. We just want fathers to know that their presence is important to their children, and we want to give them an avenue and encouragement to make sure that happens.
What is the first time that you all heard about mental health and thinking about being healthy mentally?
Man, I would say for me, hearing mental health, I probably was about 15, 16 years old, right? Didn't have any concept of what it was about because everything up to that point was being, you know, he's a little crazy or she's a little touched. Right. So, you know, because that was the way in which that we dealt with things in our neighbors, in our community. It was like, you know, that boy just off, you know, and because this was an extreme on the spectrum of what poor mental health looks like or a person struggling with mental health, everything else was always pushed towards that. And we would not talk about just the small stuff, you know, or talk about the things that just everyday trials, right? Not having enough food to eat and what that looks like, having to be big brother and father, and be the adult, the latchkey kid, and taking care of yourself, you know, because mom had to work a job and all of this type of stuff that where she couldn't be there. Those types of things were taking a real toll. And so looking at mental health for me, of it being important, man, that didn't happen until, I would say, it didn't happen until after I finished my master's. And that was in 2017 when I started really being confronted with how important mental health was and how to deal with it, how to not be bogged down with the fact that, yes, I need to talk to someone, or to be comfortable enough to say that I have a therapist. I'm going to go and see somebody.
Well, I'm the Reverend Dr. Omarion D. Lee. I like to tell people, as I do so many things, that I'm a clergy, counselor, convener, connector, and champion of all people. And so I'm a native Nashvilleian and believe in really pouring in and giving back here in this community. I think in my community, it's taboo to talk about mental health or mental illness because there's so much shame around it. But it's important that we try to take those barriers down, like this conversation that we're having. You know, it's important to let people know it's all right. I like to say it like this: I'm a therapist, but I have a therapist, you know, and it's important, and there's nothing wrong with doing so. When people find that that they're encouraged to talk through their issues, that they're heard and that they're seen, it helps to make them much healthier, and it helps to make the community in which that they're in and the people that they touch and meet healthier just as well. My family, we go by #DemLees, you know, and well, I'm blessed to have 3 children. I can't say what day or what year or when the spark hit, but I just knew it was important to be a part of the community because it's my greater family.
You know, because before that, you know, it's like, nah, we'll just sweep that away. But then we move away from just even the whole going to go talk to someone, getting a diagnosis or any of that kind of thing, to just what I can do on my own to preserve my mental health. Playing some games, you know, some mind games, and being able to do some meditation and some mindfulness, taking a walk. So, you know, man,
I'm with it. This mental health conversation, I mean, it's pretty heavy, man. Like, I think that we start thinking about it from the perspective of a black man and how we have to deal with so much extra. Right. And I just think that, you know, we need to talk about some of the stigmas that are attached to being involved with mental health. I know that you had mentioned something I did earlier that we're just not coming into our own to speak out about certain things without feeling the pressure from it. You know, I could call my parents, calling somebody, he crazy, don't talk to him, he's crazy. But were they really crazy, or were they crying out? You know, I've spoken being ostracized and talked about, that's big when the people you love telling you, you know, you're gonna be all right. Or stop crying yourself to sleep. You don't know why you're crying yourself to sleep. And now it's a big thing, and we've seen people hurt themselves, commit suicide because they're mentally fatigued. People that are prominent, the only thing they had to do was ask for help, but that pride, the ego.
I'm David Sutter. My title is Site Director, and what we're doing here is working with kids from the housing developments. We have a summer long program. We teach conflict resolution, arts and crafts, sports, camaraderie, teamwork, just about everything that they're gonna need to be successful in their life. I didn't know that people didn't have a mother and father until I started working with kids. I didn't know that kids didn't like their mothers or like their fathers, or their father was on drugs or locked up. That was oblivious to me. In my neighborhood, my first 15 friends had a mother and father. When I graduated from college and started working with kids, it was a direct opposite. Kids didn't have a father. Like, you don't know where your father is? That's unheard of. And so it took me some years to understand what I'm doing. Daryl Caldwell, the guy that founded this program, Avery Patton, my brother Reggie Sutter, just older guys that have been through it, that survived their neighborhood, their community, and come out to be businessmen, great husbands, great fathers, people like that. You know, I'm attracted to people that do the right thing.
You know, I had my issues mentally. Parents died, going through divorce. And so luckily I've had people to kind of help me out, but I can see how people can go down that road of pain and despair, drugs, food, you isolate yourself. So we're not oblivious to it. Yeah. I just think now, the era that we're in now, we have the courage to say, Reverend, I need some help. I need you to really come to my house and talk to me. Yeah. I went to a therapist to talk about issues I was having, dealing with, you know, some microaggressions related to racism, but then some very overt racist acts that were taking place in my workplace, right? And so when I was talking to my therapist about it, she was like, you need to think about going to therapy and taking care of your mental health in the same way that you take care of your physical health, right? So if you think that, man, I want to get healthy and I'm going to go to the gym and lift weights, right? Well, what are you doing for your mind? Right. right? How are you taking care of your mind the same way that you would take care of your body? And so going to therapy is one of those things. Being mindful, thinking about the situation that's taking place, meditating. And so there's a lot of different things that we can do. And there's a lot of space for us to grow and learn. Right. I'm still learning. And I think that as Black men, it's up to us to be leaders in the community to say, you know what, this is a real issue and it's something that we need to learn more about. And here are some resources that we can access to learn more and then share with others.
And that's something to like what David was saying, one part of it is that the ego and stuff drives us, right? Not to want to get help. But the other part is the shame that comes behind it. How is it that I am well off, or that I'm a standout basketball player, I'm a practicing physician, or that I run a whole men's program. I'm a world-renowned singer and I need help. I can't let people know that, or I beat myself up about it because what's wrong with me? And so we approach the problem with that there's something wrong versus that there's something that just needs to be addressed, something we need to pay attention to. You hit it spot on, right, man? Yeah, if I'm going to the gym, then I need to be talking to someone. I need to take some time to do some deep breathing. I tell y'all this, I'm really proud of this. The past week, I worked out 7 days.
Okay.
Closed them rings, okay? I closed the rings 6 of the 7 days, right? But I worked out 7 days. But not just physically working out, walking and everything. Man, I was getting up doing my stretches, doing my yoga, doing my mindfulness, man. I was meditating.
Yeah.
So I would take and block out parts of the time for workout because that's part of my working out.
Right.
Man, it's a rough job being a chaplain, you know what I'm saying? And being with people who are sick and dying that are despair, people that are caring for folks. And if you're not careful, and even outside of it as a pastor, man, that stuff you take on. And if your mind is not ready to deal with that, then your issues come out, spill over, and it starts to muddy what you're doing. Yeah. Now that's just me, right? Each of you are Black men that carry the mantle of being a father, being a husband, being a son, being a friend, being in little social clubs. You know what I'm saying? You carry those things, right? All right, let me go catch that. But we carry that stuff, right? And then you're trying to figure out how I'm gonna provide, how I'm gonna pay these bills.
That's a lot.
That's a whole lot, man.
That's a lot. It is.
So let me take 5 minutes in the morning. 5 minutes. To think about nothing but me and how I want to be just at peace, to be centered. Man, that's a whole lot, and with the repetition, like I said, I got 7 days of completed day over day participation, you know what I'm saying? That's consistent. Oh, there's no stopping. And it's taking me 2 months, Robert, to get to where I could just be consistent every day. When you jump up, all the kids are late, or you're late, you trying to get, and you steady pushing yourself to the back.
Yeah, it's challenging. I think, I have young kids now still, and so just thinking about, like, where do I fit that in? Like, where is the time for me to even sit down and think about myself and to be mindful in that way where, I'm not thinking about, man, I got to get this kid to such and such at this time. And then, my wife, she loves me and wants me to love her too. And so, when do you fit all of these things in and make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your own mental health? And so I think it requires intentionality.
Yes.
And when you understand that there's an issue, you're going to be intentional about it. Right. I think I like analogies, right? So I think about it like your car, right? You're supposed to get your oil changed there, 5,000 miles or whatever. So something 3,000. So they say, right? And so, but if you don't get it changed, right? And now you're starting to have issues with your motor and all that type of stuff. Yeah. Now it's an issue.
It's the issue.
Right. And so now you got to deal with it.
Right.
But if you had taken the time to just maintain on a regular basis, then we can run it. And I think we do the same thing with our bodies, with our physical health, as well as our mental health. We wait until there's a problem.
And it's a crisis.
That's it.
Or when it won't turn over. Yeah.
Till we pass out, right?
Yeah.
We laying in the floor somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody got to revive us.
Yeah.
We ain't checked our blood pressure in 4 months.
Right.
And so for us, we got to get in the habit of saying, you know what? It's time for us to maintain, right? Person, we got kids, man. We got family that loves us. They want to see us around for the long haul.
Man.
But we can't do it if we keep letting that red light come on. But this is what I think for us as black men, we were taught to deal with it. Deal with it. Yeah. So, I got a friend that says this all the time. It's all good. I hate that. Just action because it's not all good.
It's not.
Yeah. You crying yourself to sleep, it's not all good. I mean, you working from 3 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. Something is wrong with it. It's not all good. And so when you say that for so long, and the perception of black men is, you deal with it.
It's not that things happen. I mean, because things are going to happen. It is our response. What handle it.
Yes.
And so it's just like this. Okay, we playing football, right? And all of a sudden, when they put a man in motion, okay, this guy going in motion. Do I just stand there? Or do I change? Hey, let's make a call. Let's change the play right quick. And you make an adjust. It's raining. Okay, wear a coat. It's cold. Put on a jacket. It's hot. Take it off. And so it's not the fact that things happen that's the problem. It is our reaction to that. But it gets back to what we're saying is being more proactive rather than reactive.
That's right.
Maintaining what you got. Because I'm going to tell you, you all you got.
That's it.
That's it.
And if you take care of you, then guess what? And it's hard for you to say I love somebody and you paying yourself. I got 280 pounds, man. I'm a physician telling people you need to lose weight. I got diabetes, high blood pressure, I had cancer on the kidney. And all of a sudden, one of our frat brothers said, hey, how you doing? Oh, that pissed me off. And I just said, you know what? I saw my line brothers, they were margin. I just said, I wish, you wished. And sometimes the biggest enemy we have is ourselves.
You got to do it.
And so Fitbit, hookers, get out there and walk. 7-8 million steps later, how you like me now? And you have to decide this is what you want to do. I get up and have my quiet time. This is where you're getting in, with my kids are gone. I don't have to be, hey,
I'm working on it.
It's going to happen, but the thing is, even when it happens, you say, what am I going to do with myself? And you can decide you want to do great, or you can do great. I don't want to do great no more. I'm going to be great. I'm going to try to be better than I was yesterday. But it's a process we're going through. And it's just like, it's unlike this chair. I can turn it around on a dime. Processes in life, we turn slowly. It takes a while. A boat just can't, unless you Batman or something like that, and you don't turn on a dime. Well, we got to follow that process.
That's right.
Hijack the process.
That's right.
You're in the music industry.
Something like that, depending on what your question about to be.
Okay. Entertainment.
And so I'm just wondering, what are some ways that the music and entertainment industry could potentially help us be more consistent in taking care of our mental health and our physical health as black men specifically?
Wow. Yeah. Well, okay, so this goes back to what your first point was about being intentional. That would have to be a conversation that somebody would have to have at a table to say, hey, because even as we know, music makes the world go around. I don't care what you do, everything on planet Earth, music is involved in it. It shapes the world, whatever the case may be. And a lot of instances, of course, with rappers, or it doesn't matter what form of music, you have a lot of people that are singing about their mental health, right? And a lot of times those things that they're singing about are their emotions, of their depression and all that kind of stuff, whatever the case may be. Even if they put out whatever form of music that they put out, I heard Oprah just say this the other day, you as an influencer, no matter what your platform may be, you have a job to make sure that you stand up for, the different communities or whatever the case may be.
So I'm Ronnie, or the artist known as Ronnie. I sing, I produce. I got started at about seven years old. Music is the thing that makes me work. A lot of people always ask, hey, when you sing, when you do this, are you nervous? I said, well, when it comes to music, this is the one thing that out of all the things that I know how to do, this is the one thing that I'm never in wonder about. I know how to do this. When presented with opportunities that it may be something that I want, and if it doesn't go the way that I want it to go, if I get told no, it used to be younger that I would kind of retreat within myself and just think, okay, I'm not good enough, or what was it about me that they didn't like? I take those things and I actually use them for fuel. I take those no's and I turn my no's into yeses. It may not be right now, but later down the line, it'll happen.
So along with life and other things that go on, I think there's a turning point somewhere where your focus on everything else kind of is like, wait a minute, I can think about me and take care of me. I ain't got to worry about mama, little brother, dad, what's going on at home.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel bad about putting yourself first?
Well, so this is the thing, because we've always been taught, hey, you take care of everybody, you'll get whatever your little situation is, you'll figure that out. But as of right now, you take care of everybody. But to me, in my lifetime, I'm just now getting to a point in life where we're finding out it's okay for you to say these words. I got me first, because that's never been a thing to say, hey, let me take care of me first. But now we know that if you take care of yourself first, that then you'll have the strength to take care of everybody and everything else.
Everything you're saying adds to this in the Bible. Jesus says this in the greatest commandment. Love God with all your heart, your mind, your soul. Love your neighbor as yourself, right? If we can do that, then the way that we're doing it, we've been applying ourselves as last. Just because it was quoted that way did not mean that it was meant to be last. How can I love God who I've never seen, and I look at myself in the mirror every day? And if I'm looking at myself and I'm loving myself, then wouldn't I want someone else to experience what I'm experiencing? So I share that with the people who are closest to me. And in that, I'm keeping the first of the commandments because God is in them and God is in me, right? So be very intentional when I start out my day. I'm going to spend a few minutes with me.
It's sound like that with the stewardess tells you on the airplane.
That's right.
The mask drop
With the mask
You put yours on first.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
If you pass out, you can't help nobody around you. They're going to be trying to help you. Right? And so we got to take care of ourselves and be more consistent. Like I love that you said you've been working out for the past 7 days. So now you got to make it 14.
Right.
The word of the day is intentionality.
That's right.
Right. I think that musicians and entertainers have to be intentional about it. Some of the things that as black men we need to think about and start focusing on so that we can be intentional about taking care of ourselves, especially our physical bodies as well as our mental health, and then also bringing the spirituality component in as well. But we know that God is in us, and we can see that God is there, and we can love God by loving ourselves as well as our family that was surrounding community.
Sure. I'm gonna get you to do the teach backs on the lesson.
Well, one of the things that goes with this is just that, I think one reason why black men, period, love the sport. That's right. Is because, two combatants or two teams come at each other, man, they don't like, but at the end of the game, so that nobody dies on the field.
Yeah, right.
And guess what? Afterward, they hanging out.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can't even do that in the street now. We're on that side of town with pop, and I probably, you go to football game, I know what shooting sound like.
Right.
I know what I'm gonna tell that. And I saw the kids on the ground. I had never. Now I've been there at least 3 or 4 times. So, the thing is, we like the sports, but still some of the aspects of people never learning what team is.
Yeah.
Right.
And you gotta lean on somebody somewhere.
See what he
it's
did
just
there.
good. It's good to lean. It's good to lean on God.
Yeah.
But also he's put some other people around him.
Yeah. That's right.
But it goes with the company you keep.
That's right.
Be chow. That's right. And they're not pouring into you. They really didn't work. You know what I mean?
Say that one more time. That's it. Yeah, man.
I'm not going to say that more cliche than this. If your friends are not pouring into you,
That's right.
and they really always the term is at this age.
Right.
And you talk
They're
about
y'all's age.
Yeah. Oh, you
Are you there? You there? So feet. Come on.
And so they get old, you know, as we know as, you know, close to 50 and our 50, close to 50, sorry. Everything has to be refined. Food, who we talk to, what we listen to, what we eat here.
Yeah.
You know, it's a third quarter percent of going to the what quarter of life. And so we've been ingesting all this nonsense for decades. Like, God,
Yeah.
it's got to be tough. You know, we can't filter through the nonsense because we've already been taking in nonsense. And so when you get good stuff in you, it feels like an injustice almost. Like, man, I can really, to your point, I can really like love myself. I can take time out of my day for me and not feel bad. I got some players that work really hard and they feel bad when they do things for themselves. How does that sound? That's almost unfair. It's almost like you're cheating yourself and you can't put yourself before your family for 5 minutes or 20 minutes.
See, David, it's just that though. They're thinking is putting yourself before your family. Right. That I am bigger, better, separate from you.
Right.
And these are some things, man, for black men that, extend all the way back to slavery. You know, having to be a provider but not even actually get to be the provider because you might be sold the next day.
Right.
Having to stand in the gap for everyone else but not even your own family.
Right.
Being told that you don't, you just suck it up and go with it, right? We got a mindset, man, that says that, how about this? I'm going to do this for myself, and that means I'm not doing it for you. That's not what's happening.
Right.
What's happening is that I am making sure that there is a tomorrow for you by providing the today for me. My daughter, man, she's the best. Iris said to me 2 weeks ago, and we get in this banter back and forth. She's like, Dad, you're perfect like you are. And just to clear the record, I've been working out for like 9 months, okay? But consistently 7 days hitting it, okay? That happened last week. Let's make sure that don't get edited, okay? So she says, Daddy, you're perfect like you are. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to lose weight. You've got a great home. You got beautiful kids. You got a great wife. You're doing really well. You're excellent at your work. People listen to you, follow all this stuff, right? Make you want to cry.
Yeah.
I said, Iris, yeah, but I need to make sure that I'm in good enough shape and health to play with your children.
Right.
That daddy to argue. Because I was losing at first. I mean, she had me on the ropes with all that good stuff, right? But I'm like, my house. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's so that I can be here for your children.
Right.
Now, I'm not looking at it as that I'm putting myself before the family. I'm trying to make sure that I'm there to still lead the family.
Yeah, man. Right.
Man, so, we have to, I guess, Robert, I would ask us, man, like, how do we work at really doing the real work of reshaping our minds, right?
That's really what it is. It's a mindset change.
Yeah.
And I think that, even growing up, like you talked about earlier, like, we are taught that, man, we got to be the protector, the provider, all of these things to everybody in our community, right? It's not just our family. And I think that's something that is a little bit unique in our community. My kids go to school, and so with some other folks, and so we've had the opportunity to go to plenty of bar mitzvahs.
Okay.
Bat mitzvahs. And so just you think about that rite of passage for them. Right. And they're taught that they have to do something for the community there, right? But there's resources that come with that. Growing up for me, I think about, I was taught to do things for the community, but there weren't any resources there to make it happen. And so now I got to go get the resources and try and figure out how am I going to get this money to do this? And so it might lead me to doing something that isn't necessarily the right thing to do, which puts me in jeopardy again. And so now I'm always trying to put myself out there and put myself in harm's way for other people around me. And sometimes it's not even conscious because that's how we were taught.
That's how we were taught.
Man, you got to do for your family. You got to take care of your mama. What's the first thing most football players bring back to the sport?
My house.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You working all playing football or basketball or whatever, just so you could buy your mama a house because you've been taught that that's what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
And so I think we got to start changing our mindset and say, you know what? We got to take care of ourselves mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, so that we can then be there to take care of our mama and our aunties and our kids and our grandkids one day. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm excited about it. I don't want the grandkids quite yet, please. I need a little bit more time before that. But I am excited about getting the opportunity to be around for my kids long term and just making sure that that I could be there and see these grandkids running around the house. I think it's awesome now because we're in the information age. We came up, the era was you just be in pain and deal with it. Now, the resources, okay? And I think a healthy man makes a better husband, okay? The percentage of divorce is so high. I think if you peel back layer after layer, you can kind of pinpoint where some of those struggles come from. You know, my mother and father, they didn't hug or kiss me and my brother. This is not what they did. But their love language was going to the refrigerator. There's bologna in there. You know what I'm saying? You hit the switch and the light come on.
Yep.
The insurance on your car paid. That was their love language. As you said, you talking the same language. Just so now it's different that these kids now are just so open that they're free. And I think we are building better men, regardless of what you see on television. These type of conversations wasn't with hand thirties. The rubber was in the back corner. Okay. And I think I know you personally, and I know you and the type of men that you have become. You know, I'm honored to be here because I know what you pour into your kids. And then they're going to breed children is going to take your messages and pour it to them. And so the lifeline is going to be great. But on the flip side of it, it's their ego and their pride. I'm okay. It's all good. I don't need no help. Hey, girl, please. We got problems with going home tonight. I don't know what's happening. Be pulled up by the police. I got pulled over. You know what I'm saying? So those type of struggles on top of what we've been talking about. We're not talking about the law. It's shit that I don't look for.
And to that point right there, Dave, man, it's like the medical system is like, why won't black men come to the doctor? Why won't they seek out help? Man, do you think going to the doctor is first on our priority list? I have to go get in this car first, hope that it turns over, that the check engine light isn't on, that I have enough gas to get to this job that is not giving me any relief so that I can bring home enough money to pay back on these student loans that's got me stretched too thin and to help out somebody else because my little cousin just got locked up and I got to help my auntie get him out. You know, and you think I got time to worry about coming to go check on my heart? I'm moving, ain't I?
That's it.
And so
that's how that red light come on.
Right. And so you know, so we have to talk. We you know what I'm saying? We got to get the medical community to understand that if you really try to help us, you need to come be where we are. You got to understand that my first thought doesn't mean I don't love me. It's not about me coming to go get a checkup. My first thought is gonna be about how I'm gonna keep from getting arrested or pulled over, or that I'm gonna get back home tonight in one piece.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the car light, you know, because I talk to my patients like that, and I let them know that our body doesn't have a car light. You know, like I said, that little light that comes on, you know, in the middle of the well, but the reason, like, you know, I could check. I have driven the car with the oil light on and with compulsive plunk out there at Rivergate. So what's my camera? Inside this machine, you know, that's why I have to talk to my patient, man. Hypertension, they caught the silent killer. Because one of the first signs in those other disease that you in a box and we putting dirt on you. That can be one of the first signs. So routine maintenance is not going to hurt. But you're saying the right thing, man, because you talking some physicians, man, they up here. You having a myocardial infarction and you have insufficiency and this, that. Man, people have no clue as to what you say.
Right.
Just like when the kids tell me, man, that is jelly. What is jelly?
They said you had a Miata outside or something. No, what's it, a myocardial? What do you call it? Yeah. Heart attack. What kind of
But it's, and then you got to talk about, his blood flow. Right? And about pressure. Your pressure is, that's your engine pressure. That's right. Your blood pressure is your engine pressure. If it's running high, guess what? Them tools that lead out of the engine that goes the coolness off and stuff, they make pop. So that's one in the head, they're one in the heart. And guess what? You're getting ready to blow out your kidneys too. So you gotta take care of that, but it's subtle. And it does take some work to get there because you are right. It's financial. As far as I'm concerned, I work at Matthew Walker Comprehensive Health Center, and we don't charge the arm and the leg for people to come in there. But yet, still, once they get their bill, look, man, that ain't even half of what my services. Yeah, it costs way more than that. But I'm here to try to educate you so you can educate somebody else. Right. Don't go over there and put that potato on it and do all that. This is what you need to do. That's right. Yeah. And let me give you some other things. And then, you know what? They become disciples.
That's right.
We talked a little bit earlier about pride being one of the barriers to access health care, right? And then you just talked about, just the financial piece is a part of it as well. Like people feel like it's too expensive. And then the other piece is a lack of information. And so by you going into a patient's room and giving them that education, that's one of the ways to overcome that, right? How do we overcome some of these other barriers that we have to access to health care on a regular basis?
And this is real different. I'm going to be very brief though. The thing is, when a person comes to your office and says, well, I'm here. I said, well, what branch you in? Well, you told me you to. They told you to. Okay, all right. You were hungry. You go to the grocery store. And you tell the person at the grocery store, I want my groceries. They don't have a clue what you want.
Right, yeah.
Now, true, as you scan that stuff, they kind of got out of it. You get the coupons.
Yeah.
They know what you like, but they didn't bag it for you.
Right, yeah, right.
You're in a barbershop. You just sit down, do your thing. And all of a sudden, you got, spikes and stuff. That's not what I said. Well, you know what, though? You got to have some expectation of what it is you want to work on today. So the problem is sometimes, you go places, and you don't have a clue. But a lot of people come to see me. They have no earthly idea. They told me to come. No. Well, what's up? What's going on with you? All right, let me tell you. You have high blood pressure and this and that. Now, have you been taking your medicine? Well, and it was funny. When our computers went down and all that kind of stuff, I had to start calling pharmacies. You call the pharmacist. When the last time guy picked up his medicine? A year ago. And you wonder why his blood pressure high. And you keep sneaking up his medicine. Man, it is not the medicine not working. He not taking it.
Yeah.
What you know what causes that? Let me tell you what. When you die, somebody gonna be driving your car. Somebody gonna be living in your house. You know that shirt, them shoes you got on? Somebody gonna have those on too.
And your old lady too.
Oh,
all right.
That's a whole other topic right there.
You gotta hit them in the gut with it, man.
Understand. Because, one thing is real. We all are gonna die.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But the most important thing is live.
Yeah, so it's like, but we know that, right? And, I work in public health, and I always try to equate public health or explain public health in this way by saying that public health is about aligning people's values with their behavior. And so you're trying to get behavior change, right? And so I worked in tobacco control for a long time. So we're trying to get people to quit smoking, right? Because we know it's that's one of the quickest way to kill yourself, right? And how do you get people to quit smoking? It's a behavior change, right? You're trying to get them to change their behavior and stop using the addictive stuff. Well, in order to do that, you got to change what they value. And you got to align that value with the behavior change. So when you talk about that gut punch, tell them, hey, when you gone, somebody gonna be there with your lady, right? You know,
With your insurance law.
that's
Yeah.
there you go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, having a ball,
Yeah.
right? Having a good old time in your bed, right?
At the mall, they on the catamaran,
Right.
whatever they doing with that insurance.
Now, some guys might value that, right?
Right.
So that might be enough to get them to change their behavior. But we got to come up with some creative ways to get people to change their behaviors so that we can be consistent.
Right.
With the so like for you, if you don't mind sharing, like what was it that got you to where you were like, you know what, I gotta change this behavior and get started doing it.
So part of my church plan, part of our mission is that we be a social, spiritual, and physical church. Cool. Okay. And so in the physical, there's several brothers and sisters that really don't get to come out, live out of town. But we all got these smartphones. We all got an Apple phone. We all started getting iWatches. So we're competing and we're holding each other accountable by looking at I know what you did, right? And some of the guys, when I first got it, I had some goals on there. I mean, I had 1,600 calories that I'm going to burn a day. Okay? I'm going to work out 60 minutes a day, standing and all that. But then when I started calibrating and realized, no, let's bring it down. I brought mine down to 600 calories a day. Okay? And then I came down to 20 minutes of exercise a day. And then I did 5 hours or 6 hours or whatever of standing. That way I just know that, one, I'm watching, paying attention that I'm doing something. When I get to close a ring, I get to feel good about myself. Now, the other guys that and girls I'm competing against, they like, you don't have your threshold set high enough. I said, my goals are my goals. Because my goals are ultimately, for me, are greater than just competing with you. Right. Now, I went out on Juneteenth, took my walk, did my exercise and all that, and I said, working out is an everyday thing. All right. My mindset had made the flip. Right. That it was an everyday thing. I ain't been on about working out and doing any of that and it be consistent since I was in high school. Okay? So now I have something that I want to do it for. I got the rings counting and closing. I'm actually healthier because I'm doing it every day. My mobility is much better. My mind is man, when life is hitting about whatever's going on, wife, kid, dog, grandbaby on the way, whatever that is hitting, I can stop for a moment because I've been practicing my mindfulness and focusing and put these things in its proper place. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute, hold on. That has nothing to do with me. I can't control that.
In our community, it's access to care. And a lot of times, it's not just access to care. It's a lot of people will put, I'll wait on this because I don't want to pay the bill, or they don't know where to go. Right. In 2003 or 2004, primary care physicians, they had to learn a little something about depression. We still didn't really want to manage that. I mean, how did I know when I'm doing blood pressure right. I give them a pill, their blood pressure come down, and you're good. Right. But you're depressed. Yeah. What do I got? Something that measures that? But I had to sit down and talk to patients about stuff that's impacting them. Yeah. And how you have to let it go. Because, sometimes we worry about things we cannot change. Right. And so we just have to live a life. And then, wait a minute, you want me to medicate you? You ain't even taking your blood pressure medicine. Right. So it gets to be difficult. It's like it's a spinning wheel. You're spinning your wheels in sand sometimes. But the thing is now people are becoming more aware of their field. Right. And they got to know who they are. And sometimes, they don't understand who they are till they're in trouble.
My name is Keith Jr. I've been working at Matthew Walker. I came back in 2014. One of the things that when I was here at Matthew Walker in my previous life, we started working with the Disease Collaborative. Well, we started working with diabetes, and one of the things we found out that people who had diabetes and other diseases, they were more likely to have depression. So that was the beginning that, hey, maybe this is something we need to treat. It's important for men to get together to talk about healthcare issues and other issues that face us. The thing is, sometimes we try to figure it out by ourselves, and it's good to find other people who going through it, done been through it, or you know, where you can get that collaborative thing, because is it just in my head or is it something that's really going on? And it's nice to have that round table of people not there to judge you, but people there to give you some advice. One of the ways I try to help patients to help themselves is are they a priority? Do you love that person in the mirror that you see every morning? Do you want to see yourself like this in 20 years, or you want to see yourself like that in 20 years? It's your decision, and if you choose not to go that way, then it is what it is. But if you choose to try and to adjust your health care and to elevate your health, you can't lose. That's the biggest investment you're ever gonna make in life. My support system in my life is my family, my church, my frat brothers, roo. They're the people that gird you up when you feel like you want to fall. You can't lie to them, or mom, or dad. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has already been invented. We can just find different ways to make it better. And so we have to try to make it better.
So fellas, I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm glad that we were able to connect and get together this evening. And I think that we talked about a lot of stuff tonight. And this was good for me. Like, you have really encouraged me to just be more consistent. I might need you as my accountability partner on this one, right?
Hey, Rob, I absolutely be your accountability partner. This is stuff we have to do. We got to be intentional, man. If we don't do it, when? If not us, then who? You know what I'm saying? And so that's the way we have to approach it. So we definitely need to put it on the books to get back together and keep this conversation going, but even take it a step further and bring some more brothers with us to do just that.
Yeah, because this isn't a normal thing that we do, right? But we got to make it the norm.
Absolutely.
And that's where that intentionality comes in, is saying, this is worth it.
Absolutely.
We need to get together, because we talked about mental health. This was good for my mental health, for sure.
Yes, sir.
And I think that we need to be intentional about making these situations happen for us and brothers, and being able to uplift each other. So thank you guys.